praises to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakadash. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered into idols. So we see this happening, and this is what this quick video is about. Just an update on things that's happening in the world as more prophecies are being fulfilled, but I also want to speak about, like the timing of things. It's so tough, and I feel this, I definitely feel it. It's so tough dealing with the timing of things and understanding the difference between our times as humans and the Lord time, the Most High time. Things is not on our time. I know it seems like Hebrew Israelites been preaching these prophecies for a very long time. Like, man, and time goes by so fast. Like, I came into the truth the end of 2017. So we already going on 8 years in the truth. You know what I mean? And it seemed like just yesterday, it seemed like the time flew so fast. But you got to understand, even a full human life from birth to the end, 80, 90 years old, it's still not even, man, it's nothing. You know what I mean? When we talking about time. So it's just, you have to be patient. Like Noah, he preached and he taught and warned the people about that great flood coming years, hundreds of years before it came. Even Moses, in Egypt, it was a while before they left out of Egypt. And even before they made it back to the promised land, they had to be in the wilderness for years and years and tens of years, So things is not on our time, you know what I mean? So you have to realize that everything takes time and everything is playing out. But also on the other end, when we get the kingdom, just imagine how long we're going to have the kingdom. It's going to be forever. So this time is going to be worth it. And remember, those that endure to the end, the same should be saved. So in news right now, you see a burning wrath of a great multitude that's kindled over, especially like the northern kingdom. You know what I mean? Whether it be Issachar, Gad, there's an insurrection over them because you have ICE agents in even amongst Judah, because you have I forgot what they called them, but you had other agents that was coming in cleaning up the streets, from crime and stuff like that. And it seemed like the only group of people that's really being targeted with these as the Bible says, a burning wrath of a great multitude, which is like a great army and like, military, National Guard, ICE agents, that type of stuff. The only people that's being threatened with them is Native Americans, Latinos, and blacks. And they not going in those cities looking for Italians. They not going in those cities, trying to look for white American men and white American women. They're not going in the cities looking for Asian people, Moab, Ammon. They're not going in the cities looking for them. They going in the cities looking for Latinas, natives, blacks, right? Which makes up the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 69 says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and reproach and trodden underfoot. You see what I'm saying? It says, for there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, because the Lord's people. So the cat been let out the bag. We all play our different parts in getting this truth out and pushing this truth. You know what I mean? And now it's pretty much accepted that blacks, Latinas, Native Americans are the children of Israel. That's pretty much a accepted thing. Like, that's not nothing new no more. I'll give you a couple examples, right? I was talking to a lady and she was telling me about how her company coming up on Halloween, they, pass around candy and all that stuff. So I stopped her. I told her, I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right off the bat, that I don't celebrate the holidays. The first thing that she said back to me, she said, oh, you're Muslim? And then I said, no, I said, I'm Hebrew. And then she was like, oh, Hebrew Israelite. Yeah, I got a friend that's Hebrew Israelite. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like, what is, it's no longer like, what is that? Hebrew Israelite? Like, what is that? it's pretty much a known thing now. Like people know, like as soon as you say Hebrew, they like, oh, Hebrew Israelites. I got a friend, or I know somebody that's a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, yeah, y'all don't celebrate holidays and stuff like that. Y'all don't eat pork. It's already kind of like a known thing. You see what I'm saying? Because it's truth. And like I said, no matter who you like or who you dislike within this truth, we all play our part. We all played our part in pushing this truth. I got over 1,300 videos on my channel, hundreds and hundreds of videos on the highways and byways, you know what I mean? For 8 years, you see what I'm saying? We all play our part. My part may not be as great. It may not be as big as another brother's part. But another brother probably went way farther in this truth and had more eyes on them and more views and more followers, more all that. That's cool. I'm not worried about that, bro. We just worry about getting to the kingdom, period. You know what I mean? So we worry about trying to be a part of the elect and be saved, period. You see what I'm saying? Because I done seen brothers that had the most viewership and put the most work in Israel and then fall out the truth. You see what I'm saying? Or they might not be saved because of their wickedness. You see what I'm saying? So just do the part that the Lord put on you and your lot. You know what I mean? But it's pretty much a normal thing. I'll tell you another story I had. I bumped into a small hat woman, and shit's fucked up for them right now, and shit's fucked up for the white American right now. Right now, what you got going on is you got a war behind the scenes between white Americans and the small hats, and the small hat woman, she was trying to tell me how, she said, we and the blacks, we need to stick together. We got similar histories, that whole thing that they trying to bring in. And they're going to also try to bring in the fact. They're going to, not the fact, but they're going to try to say that we're the lost tribes. They're going to try those things, you know what I mean? But even when the truth is, when the Lord comes back, they're going to be some of the first ones to bow down. Like, you're going to have a lot of people that's going to fight against us. And I believe it's going to be that white American Edomite. That's going to be the people who fight against us. But them small hats, Amalek, I believe those are going to be the ones that's going to come bowing down to our feet. Like it says in Revelations 2:9, Revelations 3:9, it says he's going to cause them to bow down to our feet. They're going to come willingly to bow down to our feet because they know, they're more into the Bible. They're more into the Lord. They're converts. They're not the real thing, but they know the power of the Lord and they fear it. So when the Lord come back, a lot of them are going to come bending the knee because they're going to be afraid of that power. The ego and the pride is going to come from the white American Edomite. He's going to be the one that wants to fight against the Lord. You know what I mean? But that's kind of what she was telling me. And she was talking bad about Trump, which represents what? The white American Edomite. So they have like a little war. It speaks about that, if a house be divided, how shall it stand? That's in the book of Luke. You see what I'm saying? So they got to deal with it. We seeing these prophecies being fulfilled right now. We seeing the split of Esau. You know what I mean? Amalek, in the white American Edomite. We seeing the split. You know what I mean? We seeing the insurrection on the Lord's people right now. You know what I mean? And now Amalek trying to replace the white American Edomite. They trying to bring in Judah, the real Israelites, the blacks now. Now they're trying to team up because they need our help. You know what I mean? Because shit going bad for them. But when shit starts going to bad for that demon, that white American Edomite, well, we know what they resort to. They resort to violence right here. Verse 70 again. For there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. What's going to cause that? Well, their kingdom being destroyed. Their dollar being weakened. Them losing their money, losing their jobs. The cost of living is too hard. Their businesses are failing. They can't buy goods and this caused them to act in a certain type of way where they going to show their true colors, and they going to show the true demon that they is against us, mainly us. And they also they're starting to go against Amalek, the small hats. You know what I mean? So verse 71, they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord because they are mad. They're mad about their kingdom going down. There is no make America great again. There is no turning around. There is no upside. It's over. It's only down from here. The dollar is getting weaker and weaker. The cost of living is going higher and higher. Property, ain't nobody got no property tax invoice and it went down. Your property tax, if you got a house, you own a house, your property tax has went up year after year after year after year. It has not went down. It ain't like, okay, you got property tax is $400. Then next year it's $450. Okay, then the next year, okay, now it's 350. No, it's only going up higher, 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 bro. Let's keep going. Verse 72. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Well, we see that happening literally. Like I was just looking in Chicago. They were snatching people out their houses, snatching people at their jobs, at different plants. They come in there, they cut off all the exits. You can't leave, you can't go nowhere. They sit in there and detain people, you know. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Because, like I just started this video off, the world knows the cat is out the bag, and we played a big part in that. You know, teaching this truth. Pretty much everybody know, like, oh yeah, you guys are the Hebrews. Oh yeah, you guys are the Israelites. Oh, you guys are the real Jews. That's like pretty much a known thing now. You know what I mean? Now they just scrambling at the end to try to do whatever they can. But it says, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire, because it's a great responsibility with having that title of the Lord's people, of being the Lord's chosen people. You know, it's a great responsibility on us. This goes back to Deuteronomy 28. It's back on us to follow the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments. As long as we don't do that, then we have those curses on us. That's that great responsibility that we got. You know what I mean? And to be a light to the rest of the world. You know, but we're going to be tried in that gold, because they going to be mad about losing their kingdom. They're going to turn up against us, right? And we're going to be tried like gold in the fire. But gold comes out beautiful, you know what I mean? Because we're going to come out the other end of this beautiful. It says, hear, O ye my beloved, say the Lord, behold, the day of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So it's our responsibility as prophets, or as man of the Lord, to go out there and say, hey, look, this is the day. You see these things happening. That's the whole reason why I'm making this video. You see this great insurrection. You see ICE agents. You see federal agents taking over DC, taking over Chicago. You see this, right? You see their kingdom being divided. You see the cost of living going up. You know, you see that the government is shut down. You see these things. It's our responsibility to say, hey, look, the days of trouble are at hand, right? Get right. This is what it is. These days are here. Right? But it's also our responsibility to say, hey, but the Lord could deliver you. You could be a part of the elect, the ones that's elected for salvation, and tell you how to get elected for salvation. Tell you to open up this Bible, learn the law, statutes, and commandments, and just rehearse them. We're rehearsing the righteous act. Follow them to the best of your abilities. You know what I mean? Stop keeping those pagan holidays. Stop worshiping your birthday, because that's idol worship. You become the idol on your birthday. Stop following Christmas and Thanksgiving and, you know, Halloween, the Day of the Dead. Like, stop worshiping those pagan idols and worship the Lord, right? To the best of your ability. Follow the law, statutes, commandments. Keep this dietary law. Stop eating those abominable foods. You know what I mean? Try loving your brother, you know, and stop the hatred of your brother, which even we still have to work with, you know, but it's going to grow as time and things get worse and worse. You know what I mean? It says, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for God is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord God. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift themselves up. See? So don't let those sins weigh you down. Start to correct some of those sins. You're not going to be perfect. You ain't going to be able to correct all of them. But on Judgment Day, it's like a scale. It's your good deeds going to outweigh your bad deeds. You know, verse 77. Woe unto them that are bound with their sins and cover their iniquities, like as a field is covered over the bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man may travel through. It is left undressed and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith. The ones that don't want to get right? The ones that want to rebel against the Lord when he comes back, you know, they going to be destroyed, you know, but you got a chance. Just try your best, you know, but these times is here, and it's our job to warn you. You see it happening on every front, you know, get right with the Lord. Salvation to the elect. Shalom.